Welcome back to Bella Mas. Yes, today is the day we talk about men. We find out more about men and what they think about certain things. And today's topic, if you're just joining us, you're just in time, we're talking about men's grooming, but a different take on it because we're talking about the traditional way a man grooms himself versus metrosexual. But first up will be about the traditional way. But before we meet our guests, we have this Vox Spot where we've asked the public, well, women, what do they prefer in their man, whether traditional or metrosexual? Let's roll this one.
Prefer metrosexual men because like they're attractive, more attractive than like other men. So like
my opinion, I prefer metrosexual guys because I think they're more comfortable with themselves, and I think being around them I feel more confident and they smell good too, so that, yeah, I prefer them better.
A mixture of both. Yeah, you can't be too metrosexual that you care about your hair more than I do, but you can't be too I don't care what my hair looks like, you know? So, yeah.
I love it. Those girls were pretty young right there, and they say that they prefer the metrosexual men because they smell better. But I have some traditional men who are sitting with me right now, and they smell pretty fine, I must say. No funny smells right here. And to me, what's a traditional man? I think who takes care of himself is maybe he just does the basic. He washes his face. But to help me understand more about this part on how they would groom themselves, I have very awesome guests on my show. Let's please welcome Mansur Tun Abdul Aziz. He's the director of Granoff Malaysia. Looking very sharp indeed. And we have Jeffrey Bahar, he's the Deputy CEO of Spire, Research and Consulting. And then we have Dominic Tan, Public Relation Account Director. So what do you feel when you saw what these young ladies, not very fair because they're all young, right? You come from a different generation. But what do you have to say when they talked about the smell or that metrosexual men smell better? Do you agree, Mansur?
Well, I think these days generally men smell better.
Anyway.
Anyway, traditionally speaking, or metrosexually speaking, I believe there's a fragrance for every level of men at all ages and all on all inclinations.
Exactly. And Jeffrey, for you, how do you define yourself? Would you say you're a traditional man, a metrosexual, or just tell me a bit, how would you define it?
I would say I'm in balance in between of the metrosexual as well as traditional, actually. I think it's good to be balanced and both sides has an angle. Like Mansur has mentioned earlier, actually, I think it's a changing habits of men nowadays, right? We all go shopping a little bit now and we buy our own product, actually. Whereas in the past, perhaps our girlfriends, our wife, our parents buy for us. But now, so we start to buy for ourselves, actually.
Yeah, and Dominic, do you agree? Because earlier, just before we came on the break, you said, I have no say in what I'm wearing. So tell me a bit about that.
I think I would fall now in the minority in terms of what men are these days. As I said, my wife buys my stuff.
For you?
Yeah, and then today's shirt, she picked it up as well. And
is she watching?
I think so. Hi, dear.
And you got a picture right there. So your wife actually helps pick out your suits. Is it because you, I don't want to use the word too lazy to do it, or you just don't care, or you feel like it's easier if she just picks it for you?
I think I trust her judgment. And I mean, there is a certain minimum standard in terms of how you look like, as long as you don't look overly messy. Obviously, your oral hygiene is very important, but that's your own personal thing that you will keep to yourself.
Oh, I see you singing right there. There's some pictures of you singing. And you're a big sports man as well, right?
I am, yes.
So maybe no time, let your wife take care of the grooming part, and then you can do all your other activities.
And she's got pretty good taste, so...
Yeah. And Mansur, how would you define yourself? Because just before the break as well, you said you're a metro and as well as a traditional. How does that work? How does you can be both? Is it like in terms of habits, you're traditional, or the way you dress is metrosexual? Maybe you can explain a bit to us.
Before I go answer your question, for your information, I did my research today, and I realized that the term metrosexual has been coined way back in 1993. So if metrosexual is a little boy then, he would be a 24-year-old man right now running around town. Okay, so in the earlier stages of metrosexuality's appearance in our local market, for some very reason they dipped me and they interviewed me with regard to the aspect, and at that point of time was a very refreshing concept. I had so much to say about it then, but 20 years down the road right now, I think it's just pure good logic and sense. So as far as me defining myself as a metrosexual, I doubt it. I think I don't think so. I've never gone for a facial.
Really? I would have thought you would have gone for
I
a
only
facial.
started going to for my mani-pedi about a year ago. A year ago. That is like way above years after metrosexuality came
because
in.
we've been talking about this for quite a while already.
Exactly.
Metrosexual.
And I would like the Malaysian public out there to know that after a while, what was considered so controversial once upon a time now becomes...
It's the norm.
Yeah, it's part of our life now.
Yeah.
true.
So the key word after this is retrosexual.
Retro. Oh.
I coined that up because I realized there is the new age of men now are beginning to look back into traditional things back all over again. Do you watch Mad Men?
Yes, I've seen a couple of it, or even... they dress up, they wear suits.
Exactly. Do you notice that everybody starts wearing plastic frames all over again?
Yeah.
So it's like come full circle kind of thing.
So I'm
Exactly.
coming back into
You-
back into fashion now.
You're already in lah. Your wife. Do you
I
think
never left it.
Exactly. That's the whole point. You wait for it long enough, it'll pop up from the closet all over again.
all of a sudden you're like, I can use this again?
Yes.
And Jeffrey, how would you say a traditional man grooms himself? What are the traditional ways he grooms himself? Because the traditional man, it's very, you can say dignified or more masculine, or not say more masculine, just likes to be more rugged and stuff. How does he groom himself?
Yeah, like Mansoor mentions, the metrosexual terms actually has been around for 2 decades actually. But I think now the Asian men's benefit things actually, this is the time. Because now when you go to groceries, when you go to the department store, you can buy skincare products, you can buy men toiletries, specially designed for men actually. In the past, we have to share with the women. Now we have our own products actually. and that's why we have the chances to buy for our own now actually, rather than relying on women to buy the products. And that's the choice that the Asian men now has, including some Malaysian men actually now actually.
Interesting. And Dominic, you giggle every time we talk about certain thing about grooming and stuff, in the sense that I was asking you just before the break, do you use proper things for your face, hair, body? Do you separate your products, or do you use that? Some people have this 3-in-1 product.
Well, I have my shampoo.
You have your shampoo?
And then there's one for everything else.
One for everything. So you have your face wash and all that, especially for men. Well, we actually have a...
No, I don't actually.
You don't?
No, I just use normal soap.
Okay. Would you have anything to say about that?
Well, nowadays actually we're fighting for more space in our toilets actually. To share with your wife and your girlfriends actually. You need more space for your own product.
For your own product.
Not just for women actually.
Well, we actually have some stats as well on, we would like to show you on traditional men, the styles of grooming as well. So let's take a look at this. So 25% of men were shopping for their own apparel, okay? 52% of men were shopping in 1998, and then in 2004, 69% shopping for their own apparel. So it's increasing that men are actually, if you look from 1985 to 2004, it's increased quite a fair bit where men actually shop for their own apparel. I think in any sense, their clothes, except for Dominic lah. His wife is still... No, but seriously, maybe your wife, do you think... when your wife dresses you, not dresses you in a way, do you think she wants, because she's changing you to become a metrosexual man? Because women have that influence, right?
No, I mean, okay, she always complains about the way how I look, in the sense that I always tend to be messy, especially if it's when you're out with your friends and or when even there's a family gathering, and she always says, are you going to wear that?
So indirectly, she's changing you in a way. And Jeffrey, any comments about the stats that we saw just now in terms of how it's changed over the years from 1985 to 2004?
Correct. The stat is actually supporting our analysis that actually men do their own shoppings now actually. But it's also changing habits of humans' behaviors actually, especially for the men. Like Mansoor has mentioned, we do care about our appearance, we do care about our personal hygiene and many other things actually.
That's right.
And that's why the numbers goes up in the last 2 decades actually. So it's supporting what we observe, what's happening in Asia as well.
Yeah, and as well, I mean, for you, how would you say you've never gone for a facial, but do you do your own facials?
Not even.
Not even?
To be honest with you, I've always been very logical in my approach. Go to the gym, eat well, my vitamins, yada yada, somehow everything falls into place. You do not need to have to go anything further than just some very simple, basic rules of keeping yourself looking spick and span.
That's right.
But if you are going to say about the new age of metrosexuality, what I believe will be something for all of us to ponder is men going for the next step of making themselves look good. Never mind the wardrobe, never mind the facial products. Now we're talking about plastic surgery. We're talking about Botox. Because what he has mentioned just now, once upon a time buying products and everything, been there, done that, got the T-shirt. Now they've reached to the next level. We are influenced by Korea and the pop scene. Now we've got metrosexuals looking way beyond me for the matter. That's why I come to a point, I cannot call myself a metrosexual because there are younger generations right now with more hair products in their head.
I know.
Than I ever will have in my whole lifetime.
And might not be that good, right? Too much hair products in your hair.
Exactly. So that's why I say metrosexuality, call it what you may, has reached to a new level now. Now we are talking about plastic surgery. We are talking about facial implants, pectoral implants.
I know. So men have become, so if they cannot achieve it in the gym, they do all that. And so we'll still have Mansoor on our show when we come back after the break. But can Jeffrey and Dominic tell me, would you go to any of those extremes or just maybe your final words on today's topic?
Yeah, I think in Asia is a different stage of development of metrosexuals actually. If you look at Korea and Japan, actually they're more advanced. So taking care of their face, skincare product for their face is actually very common. But I think in Southeast Asia countries, Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, we're still looking at men toiletries products actually, rather than the face. So it's different stages of development. Some countries still a promising market actually.
Yeah, true. And Dominic?
I think the world's big enough to accept all varieties of men in the sense of how you want to take care of yourself, how you want to look and so on. And there's enough women out there to accept that variety of men as well.
And I think at the end of the day, now, if people are becoming metrosexual, that will be the new traditional, don't you think? Right? In years to come. So thank you so much, Jeffrey and Dominic, for joining us. And we'll still be with Mansoor later to discuss more about the metrosexual part of our conversation. Well, Bella will be going for a short break. Don't go anywhere, because this is what we have when we come back. To Bella Mas, if you're just joining us, we were just earlier we were talking about the traditional man, the way they groom themselves, but now we'll continue our conversation about the metrosexual man. But before we do that, we'll also we've asked the public what they feel is their main concerns. Like to me, a traditional man, they just wash their face, they shave their face, but we found out from the public what they're most concerned about when it comes to their appearance. Let's take a look.
Man will be more on the hair. To get a nice hair, make you look fresh and look young.
Untuk penampilan buat diri saya lebih fokuskan untuk penampilan yang simple. Macam biasanya lelaki akan fokus dekat jam dan seluar dan juga kemas lah. Dan jaga sikit penampilan supaya nampak kemas.
So it's like more concerns about the fashions, like having hairstyle, nice hairstyles, maybe dye some colors that looks more confident and also look pretty much cooler than those like did not makeup.
There you have it, some of the opinions from our public. Well, we'll continue our conversation, and just a little thing, if you want to give us a call and give us some input or questions to any of our guests, all you have to do is call us at 03-5569-0349. Give our guests a call and maybe give us some input on this topic. So we're going to continue our conversation about now the grooming for the metrosexual man. And little mistake earlier, our two guests, Dominic and Jeffrey, are still with us because they said we want to stay on the show and give our input about the metrosexual part of this topic. And of course, Mansoor joining us, we have the very strong Peter Davis. He's an actor, model, and also martial arts, mixed martial arts fighter. He's a fighter. And you've got, so you, how would you, let's start off with Peter, okay? How would you define yourself? Definitely a metrosexual man?
Well, I find I have to be because I do modelling, acting, and, you know, when I'm out and about, I have to keep my appearances up a little bit. So, on the whole, I mean, back in the day, I used to just be very relaxed. I used to ride BMX, so I just wear, like, baggy jeans, a big T-shirt, you know, I wouldn't really care so much. But obviously, with people recognising me, I have to make an appearance every day. I make sure I look reasonably well-groomed, presentable, yeah,
that's right.
Just for the...
And of course, in your line of work, you're forever going for castings or doing shoots, you have to wear makeup. There is no choice.
You have to wear makeup to cover up the dark circles. I mean, I just, for me, if I were to be doing a casting, I just do like light makeup, cover up the dark circles, and you know, sort my hair out basically, make sure I'm clean shaven, make sure I look good. That's it. And then the rest comes down to dressing. So I don't go over the top, but you just do some slight touches. You know, make sure everything's just clean, smooth, and you're ready to go.
And you're ready to go. And actually, if you look at the definition, correct me if I'm wrong, traditional gentlemen, they say like they like sports and stuff like that, and metrosexuals is more concerned with his appearance and stuff like that. But Peter is a fighter. I mean, you do fighting as well, so it's quite... It's
a strange balance to get, but doing the mixed martial arts, that training in itself helps me stay fit, active, and keeps me in good shape for my modelling, for my acting, for anything that I have to do. So they have similarities in there. They're both beneficial, but of each other. But yeah, it's dangerous to do the actual fighting, but the training definitely keeps me in good shape.
Definitely, you should see Peter's pictures. Look at that, he's definitely in good shape. So, Jeffrey and Dominic, does that make you, do you guys go to the gym? Does your wife urge you on to like, come on, we want to see some pecs? I don't know. Ever had that pressure?
I don't think I've ever been to a gym in my entire life.
Seriously?
Actually, I tried it once when I was about 17, 18, and I goes, no, I don't enjoy this. So, but I'm very active in sports.
So yeah, so you do activities
but
anyway.
Because I enjoy it, and I suppose the bonus part of it helps you keep fit in that sense. But to work out, to make sure that it's too much effort.
Too much effort. And
no, I don't push weights.
I do.
I do.
I think that's actually the one of the industry that benefiting from the metrosexual actually, which is a gym business actually. I can see that gym is springing out everywhere in the city, across Asia, and it's not just women's going for the aerobic class actually. Now a lot of men actually from younger age to all to the 50s actually they are going to the gym, and that's a business that's benefiting from it actually.
Definitely, yeah.
And do you think women perceive traditional and metrosexual men very differently, Mansoor?
Yes, I mean, obviously the younger generation does.
Yeah, we saw earlier.
We saw earlier, and I think after what Peter said just now, I think Peter, if you don't mind me, would have been the current definition of what metrosexual is all about. Maybe once upon a time, metrosexual means 60% goes to making myself look good. For Peter, it is an occupational hazard. He has to look that way with all the products and everything. At the same time, he's not vain enough to have his face bashed at any ornaments. So in the end of the day, it's a good balance. He would, what I say, a very good balance. Yes. You can still afford to go around and be the Neanderthal man that you want, but make sure you smell good and your hair is in place.
I know, because we had a comment earlier with one of the girls when we asked the public, say metrosexual men smell better. So I said our traditional men do smell pretty good.
Actually, metrosexual men, I mean, if you're staying fit as well, and if you're on a good diet, you don't really get that much BO. So
oh really? So it is part of
I sweat.
it.
bottled
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure.
But, you know, if you're eating a bad diet, of course you get different body odours. But, yeah, if you're training well and you're eating good food, and I think that's part of metrosexuality, looking after yourself from the inside. So if you have a good diet at the same time, then, you know, that's going to help you out too. It's going to help your...
Everything.
Outside your body, the way it looks, everything, so yeah.
Yeah, there has to be a good balance between personal wellness and the appearance only, actually.
Yeah.
So it's always seen wrongly as appearance only, buying clothing. But actually, the personal wellness is actually a more important factor, actually.
For sure.
Yeah, and Jeffrey, because you told me earlier that you are a traditional, but you've also like going on like metrosexual as well. But how would you go to the extent of wearing clothes which metrosexual men wear? Because they're definitely more adventurous.
I think in a way, men is still looking for the functionalities actually of clothing. So yes, you do look for a nice clothing to wear for your appearance, but it's also important to look for a functional that you feel comfortable wearing it in daytime as well as in the night actually. So
comfort's my number one priority.
Yeah, so
Comfort,
men still look for functionality rather than just the appearance itself actually.
But I do believe, on the corporate sense, if I had 4 or 5 executives which I have to interview for a certain position, and I can see that one person takes the extra effort, I would probably hire that person.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, they might all come in a suit, but obviously the one that I mean, if their qualifications are all the same, but the one who's wearing polyester will not be on my list.
You can actually tell.
Yes. So here comes an example where metrosexuality, or call it self-love or taking care of yourself, that can mean whether you get hired or not.
Yeah.
Which is true, and I think for you, Peter, that will be one of it as well.
That's a major thing as well. If I turn up in polyester, my goodness, yeah, I'm not going to get hired either.
You won't get hired either.
But it's a very fair point. I mean, if someone's taking care of themselves and they have the same qualifications, for example, it means as a representative of that company, then they're going to be, you know, seen in better light. So it'll make a difference. Yeah.
And what would you say is your normal, like, because we're talking about grooming, what would you say is your normal regime when it comes to grooming?
Depending on where I am, which country. I mean, like in Malaysia, we're lucky to have a nice, humid sort of climate here, so I don't have to moisturise as much. But moisturising is a good idea. If I'm in England, my goodness, it's like Vaseline, cream every night for sure.
Dry lips, everything.
Non-stop, yeah. So definitely moisturising, definitely shaving, and, you know, deodorants, etc. And then just making sure everything's in place, you know.
And ever gone for a facial?
Actually, I haven't actually been for a facial. I would kind of do that myself, you know.
Really?
If I see any
Because
problems,
Mansoor
I'd
has
sort myself out. So.
Never.
Has our 2 traditional men been on a facial?
Actually, I've been to facial before.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
It's nice, isn't it?
No, actually, in Asia, men actually do need that actually because of the effect of the pollution on your face. So if you don't take care of your face, actually, you look at the Koreans and the Japanese, actually, they do really take care of their face.
They do.
Those are the other end of the spectrum.
Yeah. Dominic, have you
I
like...
I must admit, but it was not my choice.
Okay, just to fill you in, Peter, his wife dresses him up. So,
well, you know, she does a good job.
He does a good job. Yeah, I think she's watching right now.
There's a gradual change from here, from that.
It's so cool.
I'm also casual. I'm extremely casual, I must say.
Yeah.
I saw you guys on TV. I was like, oh, I should have brought a suit.
It's okay. It's how comfortable you feel, right?
Yeah.
And of course, and he's a fighter. But I know this is not about today. But like you having your face, obviously, well, bash. I saw it. It was like how many elbows?
I received 9 of the most powerful elbows to my face I've ever received. I was about 2 more strikes from being knocked out completely cold. So luckily the referee heard my yelps of, okay, stop, I can't do anymore. And in the last 10 seconds of the round, I unfortunately had to...
Yeah, and that guy Tarzan, he scares me.
Oh, he's a really nice guy.
But he was a very good winner.
Guy.
He said really good things.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. It's just, I mean, I knew if I were to go onto the ground, the game would be very tricky because he's a specialist on the ground, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, so I'm a stand-up striker. Unfortunately, I got a little bit too close. He caught me, took me down. But
it's okay. We still love you, Peter. Well, we have a caller on the line. Anna, hi.
Hi, Vanessa.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, all you speakers there.
Yeah.
Okay, what I have to say is, I really don't. I'm not impressed with these metrosexual men. You know.
Oh, really?
Because I think men should be men and women women.
Okay.
Nowadays, you see the men and the women. They have got the same hairstyle. They smell the same. They look alike. You know, that doesn't really impress me. Whereas I prefer the guys there sitting in front of you, you know, those older guys.
Oh.
I think, I'm sorry to say that. I'm sure you smell better than the metrosexual guys.
But our men here don't look like women. They look like manly men.
No, they don't. Those two, I think it's Dominic and the other guy.
Oh, okay. So
okay, they impress me better.
So how old are you, Anna?
Sorry, the other two guys, I'm sorry, you look very handsome, but maybe
But
the
not
other
your cup of tea. Not your cup of tea. That's fine. Everyone needs someone to love, and there's variety for everyone out there, isn't it?
Yeah,
Thank you, Anna.
Actually, Vanessa, you'll be surprised. I've got two sons and I've got a husband, and I would prefer my husband to the sons because they come with the colored hair, whereas my husband is bald.
So you like
he's a Kojak, and I prefer him.
It's good, Anna.
Okay,
It's
I'm
good to
sorry,
know
this
that.
is my opinion. That's all.
Thank you, Anna, for calling. Well, thank you
So
for
sorry,
calling.
guys.
Okay,
Have a nice day, all of you.
They're fine.
Bye-bye.
They're comfortable in those. Well, we need a caller like that because earlier it was all the young girls going blah, blah, blah. But, well, Dominic and Jeffrey, who knew you have fans on the show? Your wife better hold on to you tight.
Put on a black suit and
well, but that's
she's
an
all yours,
interesting
yeah.
point. I think maybe the women who are older, when they look, like you say, maybe it's more skewed towards the Koreans and the Japanese style where they really do look like girls. Peter, can you
There are
have
some very, good-looking Asian, Japanese, Korean guys but they do look extremely feminine.
Yeah.
I don't know the
What extreme is that? Do you think that's metrosexual or taking it to another level?
It's trying to look different, and it's another level. Yeah, it's
Another level.
I don't know what the name of the boy band is. It's the the one with the guys with the long hair. I'm sorry.
And they all look the same.
They've all got long hair. They all look very fabulous. But the Korean girls still look better than the Korean guys, in my personal opinion. They look quite similar.
It's borderline almost.
Extra body bits, hopefully, in different. I don't know about that.
But let's put it this way: they're laughing all the way to the bank, so that's not entirely
Of course. We're not
silly.
dissing anyone. We're just
Exactly.
saying. I think at the end of the day, but even for me personally, I would still want my man. Well, I have my husband; he has his goatee and stuff like that. Still to be manly enough.
By standing out.
Yeah,
you see,
standing
what
out.
they've done by going to their job interview, standing out. Their job interview, they're on television. By standing out on television, you're drawn to them. You'd like to see what they're doing, and it works. And
it's the
maybe they don't do that every single day when they're down their local shopping market, or 7-Eleven, for example. But on television, it really does.
It does work, and I think it's just a trend nowadays. That's what it is, and maybe it might fizzle out in years to come. Who knows? Well, we have another caller on the line. Hi.
Hello, I'm
Hi,
Shafina.
How are you? So, do you have something to say to our gentleman or any input for today's topic?
Well, hello everybody. So I was thinking that between the traditionals and the metrosexual itself, it really gives an impact towards the woman. While when we see whether these men are wearing suits, these metrosexuals, the woman itself tries to look good, it's not like to compete, but to really stand out into something. So I think it's very important for us to have this kind of metrosexual men that it's really good in their appearance, they took care of themselves and stuff like that,
All right. Thank you, Shafinas. Well,
You're most welcome. Thank you.
Keep the women on their toes. What do you think?
Well, I don't think so. We set out deliberately to do that to women. We love our women. Thank you very much. We are not going to put you at the edge at all costs.
Yeah.
We're trying to keep up with you.
Do you think it's that the sort of pressure from maybe media, society for men to keep up their appearances? Jeffrey?
No, I think it's coming from our inner inside, actually. It's not because competitions, because of the surrounding, but we also gaining our confidence, and we also look good to ourselves, actually. So, to me, I think it's more for inner factors that's pushing you to do that, actually.
And I don't think so there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah,
Nothing is more flattering than self-esteem.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, for me, like, when my husband doesn't shave, it's not because of what the stubbles when I kiss him, it just hurts. I don't want him to groom himself for that reason. But it's good, like, if like someone takes care of themselves, if they're forever just wearing a cap, I mean, to me that looks scruffy sometimes. Do you think that's true, Peter? Like, if the guy always just goes out in flip-flops and just always...
I kind of like to do that, you know. I do mixed martial arts. It's like flip-flops on, and then flip-flops off and on the mats and training. But at the same time, yeah, when I go out, then
when you
it's
have
a
an
different
event
thing.
to go for.
If I have something, I'll be presentable if I have an event to go to, for sure. So, you know, it's a different sort of thing, but you're just casually around the house. Of course, you can wear pyjamas, but you're going out, spend 10 minutes to sort yourself out.
That's what I mean. So,
and then go.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. Men who take that extra effort, at least when they're going out. I mean, women, we do so much sometimes. Well, some women don't, some women do, where we take a little effort, put on a bit of makeup, try and do our hair to look good for ourselves before the men. But sometimes men, they just...
Yeah. Well, right? I know there are some girls out there, you know, they've got an appointment at, say, 9 a.m. They'll be up at 5 a.m. They're getting themselves ready before they have to beat the jam. And it's a bit crazy to have to do that.
That is crazy.
Yeah, it's a little crazy.
I think they got to learn a little bit more about their own
more
face.
Relaxed, a little more relaxed, a little less makeup, just slight touches.
And Dominic, for you, like, if you were to go out for a wedding or something, does your wife still dress you, or do you take effort? And because she'll be busy dressing herself.
If it's a wedding and all, obviously I'd make the effort to dress up a little bit more, you know, wear a suit and so on.
But do you like dressing up? Can I ask you that? Or you just really... Because you're a real traditional man.
I don't think I enjoy the sense of choosing what to wear and all that, so that's why I don't do it. But basically I just take whatever is off the shelf. But I do take some time, look in front of the mirror, okay, do I look ugly? Does that look presentable? Okay, it looks all presentable, it looks all right. So at least you have that little bit of thing that at least you make sure that you don't look so horribly out of place.
And when it comes to grooming for the metrosexual man, like, even when I want to know, like, when you shave, do you just shave, or do you actually shape your your beard, your goatee, and do you groom your nose hair and your ear hair or whatever? Just tell me a bit more about.
I knew you had to go there. But I believe I love to be clean shaven most of the time. I think it's
that's your preference, right?
It's a creature of habit, something that I inherited from my father. But obviously, I will not tolerate nose hair that you can braid. And I will not tolerate eyebrows that come
unibrow or what?
Monobrow, unibrow, or anything that comes
super long, extra.
Exactly.
Just a little bit.
What do you mean?
Like you've got as you get older, the facial hair will inherently get longer, thicker, stronger. If you can just get rid of those parts, you will reduce your age by 10 years.
Seriously?
Yeah. Just you walk to any salon now, she asks, does men trim their eyebrow? And those therapists and the salons will mention, yes, they do actually.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean,
not just women actually.
I mean, if it starts looking like a cantilevered roof, then you know there's something seriously wrong.
So, ever done threading, Peter?
No, not threading. No, I just. Okay, look,
you not plug yourself?
I'll just, if I got like extra eyebrow hairs here and there, I'll just pull them out. I've got like a super long one because I've been out on a night drinking beer, you know, with extra vitamin B. I'll just plug that extra stray hair out that's been on the free radicals, you know, and that will make me feel better because I'll go out and I'll still be looking good.
Yeah, of course. I mean, for me, I know I'm a girl, but one of the important tools that I must have with me is my tweezers. Seriously, because you cannot have that unibrow or so. But even for men, even the whole unibrow thing doesn't work, right?
No. Just to let you know, if you're a guy, you can pluck that unibrow.
Listen to Peter.
You can have two eyebrows.
You can have two separate eyebrows.
It's possible. You don't actually have to just, you know, have one single. You don't have to be from Manchester.
And you see a lot of work with a lot of fighters. Do any of them have unibrows?
You'd be surprised how well groomed some of the fighters are. They have like shaved legs and stuff, which I don't agree with that. You know, they wax all their chest hair and stuff. I mean, trimmed is fine. Okay, maybe I'm not as hairy as them because, you know, I'm half Asian and so on. But they'll keep themselves in shape. Some of them love hair treatments. One of my friends, you know, he paints his nails as well. I mean, it's more of a fashion statement, sense. And you know, contact lenses, and it's something to be different, to stand out from the other fighter across the cage from you, who may have like a similar skill set. You know, as well as being entertaining, you want to look good too, because you are on a big stage, live in front of people.
Of course.
And then you're on television. It's entertainment at the end of the day. And someone's paid money to go and see you, and why not look good at the same time?
Of course. And another question, any of you have waxed your armpit? I'm sure my brothers are normal, like traditional, but they've waxed.
Do you know what waxing feels like?
I do know what waxing feels like.
I mean, I went for one session of threading for research purposes, and I thought that was the most severe form of corporal torture.
Yeah. Men have a lower threshold of pain than women.
Sorry?
I think, right? No?
No,
I know you've been bashed up, but that's what I've heard. That's why women give birth. Well, thank you so much, gentlemen. We have to end our show right now. But any last words that you want to, maybe Peter, you gave that good eyebrow advice. Anything else you want to tell to our viewers out there?
Just take 10 minutes, a week to just check how things are going. 10 minutes a week. Just, sort yourself out, maybe shave, sort out all your facial hair. If you got your ears are growing out like hair like that, maybe sort it out, have a shave, make sure everything's trimmed. And
everything's in place.
Then you can go out.
Nice one, Peter.
Maybe hook up with some hot chicks.
Yeah.
I don't know. Go to the dentist.
That's a good idea.
I do. I spend a lot of money on my teeth, you see. Thank you, Sean Paul, of living well. But yes, take care of yourself in that sense, and always wear good shoes.
Perfect. And you've got really good shoes, Jeffrey?
Right. The men are changing, actually. It's an evolution, so we have to follow what is the habits around the world, actually. And as a man, you don't want to laugh out, be behind, so it becomes a dinosaur. So keep evolving.
You keep evolving with the times. Dominic?
I think you've got to be most comfortable with yourself and be happy with yourself. And as long as that, it really doesn't
matter. And you have a wife that loves you.
Exactly.
And thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming on to Bella Mas and making it such a fun show and sharing your deepest secrets with our viewers and myself. Well, Bella is going for another short break. When we come back, this is what we have.